so many people out there who constantly come up to me day after day here in Germany and they're like,
Huh? You're from Canada? Why are you living in Germany?
hello, guten Tag, and welcome to Life in Germany. My name is Jenna. I've been an expat here in Germany since 2014, and I've been documenting my journey throughout the entire thing. You can find all of my helpful resources over on our Facebook page. Otherwise, you can also join our amazing tribe of expats who have already joined our welcome program over on lifeingermany.com. So before I start blasting you with all this information on how to get started in Germany and what you need to know, I figured it would be suiting if I told you a little bit more about myself, why I'm here on YouTube, and what exactly we're gonna do. So I'll try to make this long story short. I met my husband back in 2012 in South Africa. He is German and I was living in Canada, starting off my first big travel experience, traveling from Johannesburg down to Cape Town, hitting up all the hostels along the way, and ironically just kept bumping into my future husband, little did I know. We did the whole long distance thing for 2 years. And I'm going to be honest, it was tough. I think many of you have probably been in a similar situation, if not are currently in the same situation as I was back then, and it is tough. Especially being Canadian, we only get 10 days vacation. Some people get luckier, most people have 10 days. That is not a lot of time. So eventually I decided to make the big move over to Germany. I didn't know a single word of German, had never even been to Europe, and really didn't know what I was getting myself into. Fast forward into 2020 and I am so thankful that I made the move. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about today in this video, is exactly why I think that Germany is a better place to live than Canada. And there's so many people out there who constantly come up to me day after day here in Germany and they're like,
Huh? You're from Canada? Why are you living in Germany?
And I totally understand that because I watch all the documentaries that they play here in Germany on this beautiful country, Canada, and it is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but I personally find Canada to be a nicer place to travel than a place to live. And here's why. After graduating university in Ontario, I jumped straight into the hustle and bustle of the 9-to-5 work life, and many Canadians watching this will totally also understand what I mean by this. It really is a hustle. Combination between working extremely hard, driving and staying in hours of traffic. There's so much stress in the day-to-day life in Canada. And that's not saying that that doesn't exist in Germany. I'm sure it does. It's just in the life that I've created for myself here, things are very, very different. So why is Germany better? In Germany, you get more than 10 days vacation. Most people get a standard 25 days of vacation, which you can drag and drop anywhere in your calendar as you see fits. You can create short weekend trips, long week trip. You can take off an entire month if that's what you please. In Canada, you get 10 days. Sometimes you can drag and drop them wherever you'd like in your calendar. Depends on the office you're working in. For me, that wasn't the case. They said you need to take your 10 days vacation or a maximum of 2 blocks. So I could take 1 week in January and 1 week in October, or I could take the 2 weeks together. And then that's it. My vacation was over and I had nothing more to look forward to. A lot of people say,
Oh, that's so amazing. Almost everybody in Canada has a summer house.
or we call them cottages in Canada. That's not true. We don't all have cottages. It's a luxury to have one. It's really nice if you do have one. And that usually turns out to be your weekend escape, because in Canada, it is beautiful. It's a huge land, and you don't get these opportunities to see all of this amazing nature in one weekend. You drive 2 hours here in Germany and you can get to 3 different other countries, whereas in Canada, you're still going to be in the exact same landscape you were and still driving towards the nature. So the opportunities there are endless. It's just you don't have the time to actually explore and embrace these opportunities, which I found to be disappointing. There's so much beauty out there and we just don't have the time to see it in our own country. Another point I'd like to make, I think there is a lot less traffic here in Germany. It's funny because in Canada, I'm speaking more so in terms of Toronto, where I grew up just outside of Toronto, and I was working in Toronto, so taking that commute every day, 25 kilometers, which would take roughly 2 hours in the morning if I'm lucky. And it's crazy to think, you're driving 2 hours, or you're spending 2 hours in the morning driving 25 kilometers to work. It's just mind-boggling at how much time of our lives we spend sitting in that car. In Germany, I find that it's either really heavy traffic, and of course it depends on where in Germany you are. For me, if you're traveling anywhere between Düsseldorf and Cologne for work, things can get quite packed there. But in general, I find the highways here to be quite open, quite free, and quite traffic free. In Canada, or in Toronto I should say, there's traffic every day, all day now. It's just there's never not any traffic. And in Germany, of course, you're going to hit that traffic during rush hour. I wouldn't say it's at the same level as our 16-lane highways sometimes in Canada. I find that traffic in Germany is either really, really bad or amazing. And when I say really, really bad, it's usually when there's been a nasty accident and the whole highway gets shut off. Sometimes that happens, but not always. And I find traffic to be so nice here in Germany because it's pretty much non-existent if you're traveling outside of the working hours. The third point I want to make is that I find Germany to have a much, much healthier work-life balance. And that might be regards to the fact that there are many businesses in Germany that say,
It's 5 o'clock. It's time to get out of the office.
Or
You haven't taken your break yet.
and of course, not every office is going to be on you to take your break and to get out of work. But it's a different mentality here where people aren't frowned upon if they leave work at a normal hour, In Canada, I find that sometimes people are just working and working and working, and they're working late to prove that they have passion for that company and that they're hard workers, or they skip vacation days because they want that promotion or they want that raise. I don't think that you should have to give up your time for your family and friends to prove to your workplace that you deserve that promotion or raise. I think working hard and having a good work ethic is enough. And in Germany, I find that if you're a hard worker and you deserve that raise, then you'll get that raise. Like I said, this is not for every business, so some of you might be shaking your head at me right now because in your workplace it's different. Totally depends, but I'd say in general, the work-life balance in the office place here in Germany is much, much nicer than in Canada. Another really, really great thing here in Germany is that it is very affordable to live here in Germany in comparison to Canada. In the Greater Toronto area, in Ontario, I think also in Vancouver and all of the major cities around Canada, it is really, really expensive to live. A lot of my friends, they're still stuck living at their parents' house because what can you do? You're grinding every day trying to make that money, but it's not possible when you're making such a low income, and housing and food and general cost of living is just so much higher. Immediately when I moved to Germany, the first thing I noticed is that groceries are so much cheaper here. Fresh food here can be so much cheaper. Cheese in Canada, for me, every time I go back to Canada, I think, oh my God, I can't afford the cheese because cheese is so expensive. Here, you get like a pack of cheese for €2 and I can live off of that pack of cheese for a week or two. Renting an apartment here I find to be a lot cheaper. Going out for dinner, to restaurants. When I first came here, I actually thought Germany was more expensive. However, in recent years, every time I go back to Canada, I'm just shocked at how much the prices have changed since I moved here in 2014. A really, really cool reason why I love living in Germany rather than Canada is that there is so much opportunity to travel. I should probably mention that over the course of the last 7 or 8 years, I've been a travel writer. It wasn't easy living in Canada, getting on that plane and having to fly somewhere every single time, whereas here, living in Europe, living in Germany, I feel like I'm in this central hub where it's so much easier to be contacted by tourism boards because all they have to do is book you a train ticket to their destinations, because it's just so easy to travel around here. From Düsseldorf, where I'm living right now, you can drive 30 minutes to the Netherlands. You can take a 45-minute drive to go to Belgium. You can even hit up Luxembourg or France if you want for the weekend. There's just so much opportunity. Being exposed to so much culture here in Germany has been an incredible experience for somebody who grew up in a country where most of the time we're all speaking English. If you're lucky, you might be bilingual and also speak French, or Quebecois, I should say. It's a little bit different than in France. But having the opportunity here to learn so many different languages and to meet so many people from around the world has been absolutely incredible. This is one of my favorite things, and that is that Germany has a super mild climate. You can ask other people who have moved from New Zealand or South Africa and they might say something else, but as a Canadian, I find the German climate to be super mild. So in the summer, it's warm, but it's not scalding hot like it is in Canada. And in the winter, it's cold, but it's not absolutely bone chilling and freezing like it is in Canada. I'd say in the winter, we get as cold as -10. Where my sister lives in the Yukon, you can go anywhere down to, -40. In the summer, I'd say most of the time the temperatures stay between 20-25 degrees, which I think is absolutely perfect. Of course, you do get quite rainy summers sometimes depending on where you live, but in general, I'd say the climate is very, very mild. So since I'm new here to YouTube, you guys haven't seen me before, I thought I would tell you guys a little bit more about what the plans are for life in Germany and where we are headed next. The purpose of creating this YouTube channel is to go through various different topics of settling in and relocating to Germany so that they're easy, fun to digest, and when you're Googling something like the best bank account to choose here in Germany, you can just simply watch a quick tutorial or a quick video on the best bank accounts, what other expats are choosing here in Germany, and kind of get your information quickly. But in addition to this YouTube channel, I've also created our Life in Germany Welcome program. And that is for people who are either thinking of moving to Germany or who have recently moved to Germany. So I am going to work day in and day out on constantly building that up, bringing the newest content in, editing things that are changing. Of course, rules and regulations are always changing here in Germany. That is my goal, is to work on this, make this my baby so that I can help you guys properly settle in to whichever city you choose here in Germany. When I first moved to Germany, I made that big leap to be with somebody who I didn't even know if I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And I was scared, of course. And moving to Germany can be difficult because, of course, it's a different language for many of us. A lot of us come here not knowing a single word of German. And the paperwork here, as the rumors have it, yes, is tough. It is tough. You mostly have to fill out paperwork in German, and it is exhausting. I've created this welcome program to take it all down a notch, step back, and really go through it piece by piece so that we can get it, bam, finished, out the door, and you're ready to have fun. I wouldn't have created this welcome program if it wasn't for my experience first moving here. I absolutely loved Germany when I first arrived. I moved to Freiburg, Germany, and we lived there for 8 months before relocating to Düsseldorf, Germany. And I think in the first 8 months, I didn't really have this expat mindset, where I really had to get all my paperwork done, where I knew I was going to be living here for years. I kind of just jumped into it thinking, you know what, if I don't like it in a few months, then I'm going to move home. When I started to realize that this was where I was going to stay and that I really needed to fully relocate myself, that's when it started to hit me. We moved to Düsseldorf, Germany to be closer to my husband's family. But when I first moved here, we moved here around the winter months, which can be rainy, very rainy. The first few months of living here were very, very tough. I'm going to be honest and tell you that I hated Düsseldorf. I really hated living here. So instead of whimpering and wallowing in my sadness and my stress, I created a website called lifeindusseldorf.com. I created this website and initially just started off saying, okay, you know what? I wanted to register as a freelancer. So instead of going and paying someone 100 euros an hour to help me register as a freelancer and learn the whole world of business here in Germany, I decided to contact an accountant here in Düsseldorf. I'd say, hey, listen, if you want to write a blog post about how to register as a freelancer here in Germany, you can create a post all published on the website, and then expats here in Düsseldorf and in Germany will think of you in the back of their mind with their taxes moving forward. And that's exactly what happened, is the platform continued to grow and grow and grow. So I continued to do so every step of the way. When I had my child here in Germany, there was so much paperwork. So we filled out all of these different blog posts to give all this information straight to the internationals and expats who moved here to Germany. And fast forward to 2020, somebody came to me one day and asked me,
You know, you're writing all of this content as if it's Düsseldorf related, but 9 times out of 10, it's Germany related. Why are you not creating this content for everybody here in Germany?
I thought, you know what, you're right. This could help so many other internationals, immigrants, and expats moving to Germany. Why don't we put together this welcome program Germany-wide and start this YouTube channel so that we can really build up this package of everything you absolutely need to know when you first come here, so that everybody can have a stress-free move, unlike many of us in the past who have had moving to Germany. So that's enough of a rant from me. I hope you learned a little bit more about me before I start creating tons of informational content for you here on YouTube. I look forward to building up this platform with you. If you have absolutely any questions, you can always feel free to message me in the comment section below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have more questions or you would like more information on something in particular, let me know in the comment section below, and perhaps I can create another YouTube video letting you know more information. Otherwise, you can check out any of our other videos here on this platform or on any of our social media accounts for more information. That's it for me. Have a wonderful day and bis später.